Okay, so we will go live now, and we will begin soonish, since we don't actually have any people watching. I think I have 3 people. Let's see. In the meantime, I've prepared some pictures that we can follow along, and I just won't make any stuff up. I'm just going to share whatever I see here. And my personal experience at the demonstration, because there is a worrying trend in Italian society and with the Italian politics and police. We will also be reading some articles, because I actually haven't read many of them, about what happened at the demonstration, and we will kind of fact check them. I've prepared Roma Today, which is like a centrist journal. They kind of just usually say what happened. That's it. And we will also be talking about Rai, because they wrote an article about it with some videos that we aren't really going to watch because they don't really add anything. We will be also reading. Okay. I fucking hate this. Well, and we will translate here. ANSA, which is a state-sponsored journal. Il Post, which is fuck you. Il Post, which is another kinda center-left journal thingy. Try again. Picture, it goes here. Il Corriere della Sera, which is also a right-wing journal. And Anti-Diplomatic, which is like an alternative journal. I don't really know them, but they were present at the demonstration, and so we will be talking about them and what they actually saw. And of course, in the CPA, which is always cool to read in general. We'll be also reading the Union of Association of Italy and Israel, which is extremely goofy. Like, goofy, but it's the only, like, the only thing that actually managed to, and that actually released a declaration about the event. And then we will be looking at some pictures and videos provided to us by Chronicle, which I know personally. They're cool people. And this map, which I will explain. So let's see. Writing. Think. Can you hear me alright? I think you can, but I'm not sure as always. Test. Okay, the chat seems to be working. I think. Maybe I should have another general ping. Okay, you can. That's actually amazing. Let me just write on Twitter again. Maybe people will pick up on it. I don't know. And another YouTube notification on my Discord. I can't write. and publish. Yeah, another like 2 or 3 people will show up. I could actually have bothered to make a thumbnail or something because it might have attracted some more people, but I don't really. I'm not really good at being a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, or whatever this is. So I'll begin by basically reading what I've already wrote both on Discord, Twitter, and Facebook, which is my like my report on the situation. This was auto translated because I could not bother to translate it. I originally wrote it in Italian for my friends and for basically my political organization. So there might be some mistakes. I will correct them in case I did not really review it as much as I should have. So let's begin. Demonstration on October 5th, my experience. It's 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and the first arrest, the first expulsion orders, and researchers begin. Basically, this is in Italian. In Italy, it's called foglio di via. It basically banishes you temporarily from a city, and they are basically the successor. Legally speaking, they are the successor of the foglio di via, which was a fascist. Like a fascist punishment, which would send you in exile, basically, but still in Italian territory. It was pretty weird. This is the successor, and it didn't really come out as often as with the current government, but right now they are basically giving them away for free, like to everyone that is an activist, and they can really fuck up your life because let's say you live in fucking near Rome or something, and they banish you from going to Rome. And while you don't live in Rome, you can't go to work because, of course, you work in Rome. If you live near Rome or something, this is the coercitive power of the Foglio di Via. It's that it can really fuck up your life because it can prevent you from going to school, from going to university, to work, to visit friends, to even buy goods. But with online shopping, of course, it's not as severe. Searches begin. These things happen everywhere. While I say this, it happened everywhere. I mean, everywhere in Italy. There were like searches on people on trains, on highways, on fucking buses. People were stopped for carrying a bag. It was actually insane. Some organizers received expulsion order the moment they set foot in the demonstration. They are ordered to leave Rome within an hour or they will be arrested. Hundreds of comrades are arrested, detained, or given the expulsion order. And we can actually see it here. These are buses full of people that were going to the demonstration, and they were stopped by the police for searches and generally just to stop them. Some arrests were made. This is in Rome Rome West, I think. So let's go on. Rome closes down, vans, helicopter, police everywhere. Even far from the demonstration, at 3 p.m., Piazza Ostiense, which was where the demonstration was taking place, is surrounded on all sides. No one enters or exits. The police and carabinieri, which is another type of police in Italy, closes all entrances and exits. Negotiations between the organizers and the police begin at as far as I know, they began at 4 p.m. And in the meantime, a friend of mine who remained outside the march was unable to get in. Tells me that they heard that the police were preparing to charge. I informed the comrades that the negotiation and the charge is cancelled. So the police kind of retreats in the beginning. And this friend of mine, oddly enough, was almost arrested because the police basically surrounded the square on all sides. This was where all the police vans were located, and this was the square we were in. So this was blocked. This was blocked. this was blocked, this was blocked, this was blocked. Here you had like tons of police vans. I personally counted 13 in total around the square, but there were more all around Rome. So yeah, this was the situation. It was really tense. He tried to get in from the from here, which is like a station here. He tried to climb over. They couldn't get him. He was spotted. He had to run away and then managed to enter later on when the demonstration actually started. It's 5 p.m. and the marches begin. It goes around the square because we couldn't leave the square. So basically, we agreed with the police that we could basically roam around the square. And there are clashes after like 20 minutes of us walking. It's not clear whether it was the fascist infiltrators, which were identified from the beginning because there were searches. Everyone who got in was searched, was stripped down by the police. They were asked for documents and everything. But for some reason, I let your imagination run wild. These infiltrators, which were fascists, some had fascist tattoos on their head and then forearms. For some reason, they wouldn't get searched, and for some reason, they wouldn't. They managed to get in, no problem. Well, tons of other people would be left out. So there were some clashes. Probably the infiltrators started throwing I don't know the term in English, paper bombs. They're in Italian, bombe carta. Basically makeshift low intensity explosives, so that the situation degenerated. The police retreated after they threw 7 to 8 tear gas canisters. We had, of course, people assigned to distribute surgical masks, and we had like leaflets before the demonstration, which would explain how to deal with tear gas and everything. Of course, we also had the people which were tasked with throwing the tear gas canisters away back at the police. So the charge begins. The water cannons were started to disperse the crowds. We retreated quite orderly, to be honest. And we had 3 injured, and the police had 33. So it's quite a positive ratio. So we were around 10,000 people, around that number. Some estimates put us at like 25,000. I do not believe so, because of the people were really stopped by the hundreds. So I don't really believe that we were like more than. I don't think we were more than 15,000. I do not believe that. It was raiding. The police was coming down on us. The demonstration was banned. We were doing it despite the ban and all that stuff. So I'm not really surprised that the turnout was so low. But on the other hand, it was extremely high for the circumstances that we were facing. And yeah, so this is what happened. This is my version. At some point, a couple of dudes just ripped off a fucking sign off the ground and they threw it at the police, which was extremely funny. This was a picture of the demonstration. As you can see, we were like many people. This is a pretty big square, and I could not travel around without pushing people. It was so fucking packed. I had to like make way. These people here, it's like not as dense because this is so. This is like people had to climb over this, so this is not basically part of the square. This was the square, as I said, surrounded on all sides, and these were the arrests. Some other stops. Another picture of the square. This is from the other side. So it was pretty big as well. I'm very proud of it. some people were stopped in the middle of the road and they had to start like mini demonstrations because the police was not letting them go. This is from Pisa. And these are some scenic pictures which go pretty hard. This is when they started throwing tear gas. These go pretty hard, to be honest. Okay, now I would like to read some of the articles, because some of the articles I've read while I was coming back from Rome were extremely silly. Like, they call this urban guerrilla, which is extremely funny. So let's start reading. Guerrilla in Rome, the procession of Palestine. This is extremely funny. Like, what happened was 3 people threw, like, maybe 1 Molotov was thrown, and 8 tear gases, and that's it. That's really it. Of course, the police charged and whatever, but it's not urban guerrilla. It's extremely funny. Many of the flags of Palestine against the new security decree. This is basically a very repressive decree. I actually wrote about it on Twitter a while back, but it has a thing called anti-Gandhi law, which is extremely funny. To give you an idea, it basically criminalizes most forms of active and passive resistance, even inside prisons and jails. It's a whole mess. Amongst the targets, the president of the councils of ministers, against whom the president's sang choruses to the cry of Meloni is an assassin, but also against Israel, Zionist murderers, hands off children, many red flags. Stop the DDL 1660, free and fight, Palestine and Lebanon united, let's stop the genocide, etc., etc. This is okay. There are 10,000 people in the square who asked to leave. This is a bad translation. Who were basically asking to have a corteo, which is basically a demonstration. The protesters said after a stalemate, escorted at a distance by police, the activists turned the head of the procession and began to move slowly towards. This is not correct. This is around Piazza Ostiense. Around 5:30 p.m., the clashes started. A part of the people in the square tried to break through the police cordon, throwing bottles, etc., etc. According to initial figures, 30 members of the police were injured, for military of finance, which is extremely funny. I don't understand why they are always around that demonstration, and 26 policemen, 40 sheets of streets adopted. What is the translation of this? I'm sorry. It's the thing I was talking about earlier, the exile papers. 4 people were took to the police station. 2 of them were then denounced on the loose for resistance, violence, and injuries against the public officials, and so on. Free Palestine. What are Western values? Genocide, extermination, and hunger. So this is the appeal. I don't really remember them saying this. This was not, at least I did not hear this. What are Western values? Genocide, extermination, and hunger. They here are singing Zionists are assassins, hands off children, and whatever. This was most of the chants at the demonstration. Of course, organized by the Young Palestinians, which are Marxists. I really like them. And Arab Palestinian Democratic Union, which are democratic socialists. We are in the square, despite all the prohibition, also for you Italians, which was said, it's correct, because the Meloni government is also taking away our rights. Here we are against the genocide of Israel, for the 40,000 dead in Gaza. This figure is not really correct. There are more than 40,000. These are the 40,000 confirmed deaths in Gaza. We are on the side of the Palestinian resistance. What happened is linked to Ukraine, Taiwan, and many wars in the world, as well to Italy and the 1660 DDL. For decades, the governments of the center-right and center-left have limited freedom of strike and demonstration have continued from the stage. The more war advances, the more they have to repress, the more a war with economy, which they exploit workers and students. So it was a pretty radical demonstration. 19 people at the police station. Rome, armored is not correct. As you can see, tons of people, and it was packed with the. They also basically stopped people from. They cancelled this stop from trains to stop people from going to the demonstration. And of course, police informants and fascist infiltrators were present. They were spotted. We could not deal with them, and honestly, I don't really understand how. I understand how they got in, but I don't really know how we could have prevented it. But we should make a reflection on this. And basically, the government also admitted that the violence came mostly from the infiltrators. So yeah, no Palestine. Of course, the government was extremely against it, and it was a declared war on the police. This is all extremely silly stuff. I wish it was true, but it's extremely silly stuff. It was mainly a pacific demonstration. For aside from one point, it was a pacific demonstration. Something extremely funny is that they initially they would not allow us to leave okay, initially it was forbidden for us to even gather there. Then it was forbidden for us to basically move the demonstration, and then they allowed it, which is extremely funny. So let's see what Rai has to say about it. The ones who created havoc in Piazza Ostense were the professional troublemakers who then suddenly detached from the crowd, which was waving Lebanese and Palestinian flags. Also, the yellow flag of Hezbollah. This is kind of true. Oh, they captured the guy who threw the stop sign. Several militants from. They keep calling it the Galaxy. I don't understand it. We were the far right galaxy, the pro-Hamas galaxy, then the pro-Palestine galaxy, and now the galaxy of social centers, which is extremely funny. Ideally, alongside far right groups in the anti-Israeli protests, far right groups in Italy don't have. Far right groups don't have anti-Israeli protests. They try to hijack far left and left wing anti-Israeli protests, but they come as police informants and infiltrated personnel. They don't join us, and also they weren't part of the organizers. This is disinformation, of course, as always. Even families with children, this is true. We had tons of people of all ages. We had people which were from elementary schools, preschools, with families. We had old people, people of all ages, really. It was really cool. The Yellow Baron, this is, of course, this is true. Mattarella, here's the solidarity and appreciation, because of course the president is in solidarity with the police. Giorgia Meloni is of course solidarity with the officers. We had, there were of course demonstration all around the world, all around Europe, in London, in France, in Germany. In Germany they actually deployed snipers, which is extremely funny. Imit United against anti-Semitic International, which stands... they pro Israel. Okay, this explains the weird slogan. So this is mostly, I think this is mostly the same thing. Confirm the hypothesis, which of course they were infiltrators. This is so fucking funny. They translated the Minister Piantedosi as planes. This is extremely funny. 40 officers, agents in riot gears, injured girl. This is okay. Over 1,000 police officers, it's correct. It's around 2,000 to 3,000 police officers were mobilized. Let's see. Demonstration and legitimacy. Convened by several organizations and collective anniversary of which began the invasion of the Israeli army in the Gaza Strip. The police station had forbidden its conduct. Expressed a celebratory will to the massacre carried out against the state of Israel. This is okay. After appealing to a regional administrative court, however, it gave a reason to not to cancel the procession. And okay, this is pretty okay. This is a pretty correct article. This is I don't think that we have to read this. I'm really fucking curious about this. About what the La Repubblica wrote. La Repubblica doesn't write anything about it. This is extremely funny. 5 October. Oh, no. Let's see, maybe. They didn't write anything. Oh, here it is. Okay, they didn't. Great professionalism from the police. Okay. Photographer beaten by hoodeds. It's true. They don't talk about anything before the demonstration, but La Repubblica for once isn't completely Hitler, right? Donzelli, people who play the revolutionaries, which is really funny. Oh, something that the Repubblica mentions, and I'm really surprised about this, is the presence of the Jewish bloc. We are here as the Jews, this is probably Hebrew, because we want to show our solidarity with the Palestinian people, Lebanese and Yemeni, and because we are tired of seeing how anti-Semitism, which is sadly real, is being instrumentalized to put bans and silence any kind of dissent. This is extremely cool. I actually saw them, and initially when the police wanted to charge at the protesters, they were actually going to charge at the Jewish bloc first, because they were planning to charge from behind. This is okay. Blocked Flixbus incoming in Rome. This is okay. At least 7,000 people in the square. This is correct. We were at least 7,000. We were around 10,000. I'm pretty sure we were about 10,000. Okay, this is surprisingly correct. Okay, let's see. Of course, this is the... I kind of want to show you what the Israeli embassy said, but I'm blocked on Twitter, so I can't show you. Let's see. Russia, Israel, Italia. Let's see. Maybe Um, Let me see. Maybe I'm blocked from them, so I can't show you. Remember October 7th. Diderot. 1 year. Let's see. October 7th. Ah, they didn't write anything about this. This is extremely funny. Of course they didn't. Never mind. Association of unity between Israel and Italy. Of course they write. They express their total solidarity with law enforcement and the 24 injured officer to guarantee courage and balance the interdictive provisions adopted by the Minister Piantedosi and of the unauthorized demonstration held today in Rome. It is not acceptable, in fact, this is a mistranslation of the software. Basically, it is not acceptable that they were praising the pogrom, which is extremely silly. Of October 7 is in fact an illegitimate. Finally, it closes with data ambiguity in the name of freedom of speech leaves room from demonstration of violent and anti-Semitic in Italy that unfortunately has known the horror of the racial laws of fascism. This is extremely funny. I wonder why the fucking Zionists are always siding with the fascist government. Like this, like the current government has been is very much known for anti-Semitic stuff, like and fascist stuff. Let's see. Fucking. Like, this is the youth, a documentary on the youth group of Giorgia Meloni.
Le braccia tese inneggiano al...
And nobody really complained about this from the Zionists. They like, it's mostly, of course, this is them talking about how they use public funds for their shit. Asagi, this is of course, this is them beating up students in Florence a couple of years ago. Books on Mussolini. This is them singing singing fascist songs, etc. Like, this is pretty. They are pretty notoriously fascist, and they don't really. And of course, the Unity of Association of Italy-Israel doesn't really care. They actually praise the government, which is extremely funny, as always. Is extremely funny. Ok, immagini idranti. Oh, this is funny. Let me read it. Communist tags in the streets for Hezbollah. Full solidarity with the police and attacked by the communist thugs who praised the Islamic terrorists of Hezbollah. The left brought another page of shame today in Rome with its most extreme and criminal fringes. We are on the side of the people in uniform who we want rules of greater protection, more appropriations, and finally a new contract. I'm a bulwark of democracy, freedom, facing gangs of thugs. This is extremely funny. Like, the bulwark. This is the bulwark of democracy in Italy. This is what freedom and democracy looks like. Confirm hypothesis of infiltrators and whatever for arrested. Organized werewave. I have no idea what. Agent riot. The Russian La Russa. This is so fucking funny. This is so fucking funny. In addition, part of this demonstration is becoming the protagonist of very serious acts of violence against the police. Presence. La Russa being worried about the death of democracy is extremely funny. This is him with his favorite Mussolini statue. This is him commemorating the death of Mussolini back then. Another picture. So yeah, I think he really cares about the democracy. And of course, wounded girl, etc. 1 second, I have to go like 3 seconds. I'm just going to leave this here if any of you want to read. I'm leaving like 5 seconds. And I'm back. The demonstration lasted around like it started at 2 p.m. and ended at around 7 p.m. more or less, so around 5 hours, with around 10,000 people, which ended up dropping to, I think, let's say 5,000 after the police intervention, but still. Now maybe more, maybe 7,000, I think. But anyway, it didn't shrink too much. It's just that families, of course, left. So yeah. Oh, a friend of mine just sent me stuff on the demonstration. Mark. Let's see. Oh, there is a picture of me holding the police card. This is fucking funny. Let's see. My suggested demonstration against the genocide means being a terrorist is not permissible. Today we experienced a substantial security decree, okay. Oh yeah, we had tons of people, tons of... where's police blocks? Generally, I think that it's really weird. I'm not really surprised, but I think it's really weird that that after being like searched, every one of us was searched. I wasn't, but because I came in early. But most people were searched, both at the demonstration, before the demonstration, and around the demonstration. Because even before getting to Rome, they were searched. And despite all of this, they still kinda there was violence and there were bombs, not like full on explosives, but like small scale explosives, IED, which is extremely suspicious, because if it would be really funny if people managed to sneak in fucking explosive at the most searched event ever. So it was probably informants who threw explosives at the police. I'm honestly 100%, not 100, but 90% certain that the police or the police informants or the fascists who infiltrated the demonstration actually threw the explosive. I'm kind of 100% certain. Let's say 90% margin of error. So the worrying trend is that in order to make this demonstration, tons of people, like really tons of people were searched. for a demonstration that was, I mean, it was extremely weird to see the entire police force of Rome being deployed, asking for also reinforcements from other cities, other regions, whatever, to stop a demonstration that was overall pretty pacific. And that was the point. The point was to basically recreate the conditions that were present in the 60s and 70s. Heavy police in heavy gear, police in riot gear, police ready to charge at the Pacific people, and then blame it on violent extremists, and with that pretext basically forbid any demonstration. So yeah, I'm really bad at doing lives. Like I'm really bad at doing lives. I'm already out of things I have to talk about. I just wanted to say this because maybe a couple of people will read more, will understand what happens, and mostly people don't really care about reading the stuff I said, because most of my followers are on Twitter, on X, as the youth says, and first of all, I can't pin the thing, because if I'm pinning the thing, I'm going to have to unpin this, and this is staying up until Palestine is liberated. I don't give a fuck. This is staying up until Palestine is free. So, and only like 14 people read it. So let's say 14 people here, 2 people on Facebook, because I don't have any people on Facebook. Let's see on here, on the announcement page thingy, like 5. This is mostly, let's say, another 10 people, which is not 10 people. So I just wanted to make this live because people are going to maybe listen to what I have to say, and I basically reached like 6-7 people more, so it's around 30 people. Hopefully they will talk about it in other channels, not YouTube channels, of course, like they will talk about it with other people. So now I don't really know what to do. Do you guys have any clue? Because I don't. I have no clue who these people are. I'm really bad at learning faces and people. Let's see. So I honestly think I can just end the live stream here, if there aren't any suggestions or any questions, because I'm not good at doing lives, and I'm not good at, generally I'm not good at being entertaining. Well, I'll wait like 10 seconds because I count 10 seconds of lag, and if nothing happens, I'm just going to close the live thingy. End the live thingy. Okay, I'd say that this concludes my live thingy. So see you around. I will try to make more structured content maybe in the future, and I'm also probably going to release the song I'm currently translating, Ballato tua critica, in the next 3 or 4 days, probably, because I have stuff to do in the meantime. And yeah, see you around, I guess. I'm really bad at streaming.